Dear students, today I want to discuss the NCERT exercise solutions of the chapter Potential and Capacitance. I want to do it through three videos, and keep in mind one important concept. The concepts you get from these questions are very important, not only for your board exam but also for entrance exam. So we can move with the first question. Two charges 5 into 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb and minus 3 into 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb are located 16 centimeter apart. At what points on the line joining the two charges is the electric potential 0? Take the potential at infinity to be 0. So at first we can draw it. See, here the two charges, say we can take as a QA here, that value it is given as 5 into 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb, and QB that is given as minus 3 into 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb. And we can say at this point O, there the potential is 0. So, but keep in mind the very important concept. By using the principle of superposition, the potential at the point O due to A plus the potential at the point O due to B should equal to 0. That means we can easily write as a K into QA, the division by the separation. Suppose from A it is at say X. Then we can say as K into QA by X plus K into QB by, and here it is given, they are totally at a separation of 16 centimeter, at a separation of 16 centimeter, and we can say as a 0.16 meter. So if it is X, then this is what? It becomes 0.16 minus X. So that separation we can write as a 0.16 minus X, and that should be equal to 0. Then we can take any one of them to the other side. So here as a K as a nothing but equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 as a K into the charge as a 5 into 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb by X is equal to minus K into the charge as minus 3 into 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb, that division by the 0.16 minus X. So there the equal factors are cancelling as a minus 8 as a minus 8. So you will get the value as 5 by X is equal to 3 by as a 0.16 minus X. Then on solving, when just crossing, so 5 into 0.16, so we can write as is equal to 0.8 minus 5x is equal to 3x. So 0.8 to take the value as equal to 8x. So x we get the value as 0.1 meter. That means we can say as x is equal to 10 centimeter. A good concept. Look, the question number 2. It is given a regular hexagon of side 10 centimeter has a charge 5 microcoulomb at each of its vertices. Calculate the potential at the center of the hexagon. So at first we can draw the hexagon. So or with that 6 side, and keep in mind the each sides are equal. The very important concept. And we have to find what is the contribution at the center as O. And at the each corner, equal charges are placed, say as a Q. that is given as a 5 into 10 raised to minus 6 coulomb, and is given a side A as equal to 0.1 meter or 10 centimeter. And keep in mind, if it is A and this distance is given as 2A, there is a very speciality with the hexagon. That means this much should be, here the 6 contributions are there, 6 corners are there, and each corner's got the same separation from the center O, and hence we can say by using the principle of superposition 6 times of the individual contribution. So that is equal to 6 into as a K into the individual charge division by A. So that is equal to 6 into as a 9 into 10 raised to 9 into the charge as a 5 into 10 raised to minus 6 division by as a 10 raised to minus 1. So you get the values equal to exactly 2.7 into 10 raised to 6 volt. So here keep in mind that every charges are same, and hence we take the 6 times of the individual contribution. Each contributions are added together because the potential is a scalar quantity. So we can move to the third question. The two charges, 2 microcoulomb and minus 2 microcoulomb, are placed at points A and B 6 centimeter apart. Identify an equipotential surface of the system. What is the direction of the electric field at every point on the surface? So here the 2 microcoulomb, so minus 2 microcoulomb, here the plus 2 microcoulomb. So we can easily say it is nothing but a dipole under consideration. So the potential should become 0. So we can easily say at a point equiseparation from the two charges. For a dipole, the potential becomes 0 at any point on the equatorial line. It is a very important concept. So that is a very important one. The equatorial line, the potential is 0. And the formula, that is, keep in mind, at any point the equatorial is nothing but is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. At any point theta, it is given as P cos theta division by R square. So here the theta becomes 90, and you get the value as E is equal to 0 at any point. So that is a very important concept. Look, it is the electric field, not electric field, the potential. And keep in mind here, what is the direction of electric field at every point on this surface? If you just take one point here, P, in order to find the electric field, you can just place a test charge here. So that minus 2 will attract it in this way, and plus 2q will repel in this way. So we can just take the resultant by using the parallelogram. And keep in mind, the resultant is acting in this way, and keep in mind, perpendicular to the equipotential surface, perpendicular to the equipotential surface. It is a very important concept. And keep in mind that electric lines of force are always perpendicular to the equipotential surface. A good aspect to keep in mind. Then look, the question number 4, a simple questions. A spherical conductor of radius 12 centimeter has a charge of 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb distributed uniformly on its surface. What is the electric field inside the sphere, just outside the sphere, at a point 18 centimeter from the center of the sphere? So we have to consider the 3 cases. So here the uniformly distributed with a charge of 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb. We have to find at a particular point inside the sphere, say the point P1, and the second point is just outside the surface, P2, and another point as 18 centimeter away from that P3. So at first we can find what is the contribution at well inside. And that is, by using the Gaussian surface, the charges are not there. So by using the Gaussian Gauss's theorem, we can say E inside is equal to 0. Just outside the surface, so we know just equal to that of the radius. So we can say as 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, the charge, the whole charge may be considered as at the center, concentrated at the center. So Q division by R square. So you get the value equal to 9 into 10 raised to 9 into the charge as 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 7 by the separation as a 12 centimeter can be right as a 0.12 square. Then on solving, you get the value as 10 raised to 5 Newton per coulomb. And similarly, at any point outside, you can consider the whole distributed charge is concentrated at the center, a point charge, and the location is at a separation of 18 centimeter. Therefore, the electric field can be found out as 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, the charge division by R square. So that is equal to 9 into 10 raised to 9 into 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 7 by the 0.18 square. So you get the answer as 4.44 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb. As simple aspects, the very important concept is for the shell inside, the electric field become 0. So that is a good concept. So we can move with the question number 5. A simple question. A parallel plate capacitor with air between the plates has capacitance of 8 pF. What will be the capacitance if the distance between the plates is reduced by half, and the space between them is filled with the substance of dielectric constant 6. So we can move with the first concept. It is given the capacitance when air is dielectric, it is 8 pF. So that is 8 into 10 raised to minus 12 farad. But what happened when if the very important concept that gap is reduced by 2 and is filled with a dielectric constant of 6. So you get the value as a 2k epsilon 0 a by d. Epsilon 0 a by d is what? That is 8 into 10 raised to minus 12. So can be right as a 2 into the dielectric constant is 6 into 8 into 10 raised to minus 12 farad. So multiplying, you get the answer as is equal to 96 into 10 raised to minus 12 farad. So that is a good question. So keep in mind how that capacitance varies with the separation and the presence of dielectric constant. So we can move to the question number 6. The 3 capacitors, each of capacitance 9 pF are connected in series. So we can connect them as a series, in series combination. As we study in the earlier classes, you should know the charge it should be a constant and the potential is added together. It is a very important concept. So at first we have defined what is the total capacitance of the combination. So in series, you have to take 1 by C equivalent is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. But here all are equal and hence C equivalent is C division by N. So that is equal to 9 pF by N. So you get the answer as a 3 pF. So that is the answer for the question 1. And the second question is, what is the potential difference across each capacitor? And here the potential applied is nothing but equal to 120 volt. So here each capacitance got the capacitance of what? It is just 3 pF. So we can find through that capacitance Q is equal to C into V. So the charge there is 3 into 3 PF into the potential as 120. So equal to 120 potential. You get the value as 360 picocoulomb. It is very good. But likewise, 3 capacitors are connected. So keep in mind the potential. So here we want to find what is the potential difference across each capacitor. Each capacitor. So potential is what? It is nothing but the charge division by the capacitance. So equal to what is the charge here? So that is so here we undertake the effective capacitance. So you get it as 360 picocoulomb. So 360 picocoulomb division by the capacitance for individual, it is 9 PF. So 360 by 9. So you get the value as 40 volt. And here all the 3 capacitors got equal value, and hence that total 120 is equally distributed as 40 volt, 40 volt, 40 volt. So together you get the value as 120 volt. So that is the answer. The potential difference across each capacitor, take the value as 40 volt. Next question, number 7. Again a similar type. The 3 capacitances as 2 PF, 3 PF and 4 PF are connected in parallel. 2 PF, 3 PF and 4 PF are connected in parallel. What is the total capacitance of the combination? So it is in parallel, so total is nothing but as a C1 plus a C2 plus a C3. So that is equal to 2 plus 3 plus 4. So you get as a 9 PF as the total capacitance. So based on that, we can easily find what is the total charge flowing. So that is equal to that total capacitance into the potential, that is 100. So that is equal to 9 into 10 raised to minus 12 into the potential as 100. So that is equal to simply 900 into 10 raised to minus 12 coulomb. But our aim is to find what is the charge through the first one. So the capacitance there is 2 into 10 raised to minus 12 into the potential. So that is 100 equal to 200 into 10 raised to minus 12 coulomb. So the charge through the second one, it's the capacitance. So what is that? 3 into 10 raised to minus 12 into the potential. So equal to 300 into 10 raised to minus 12 coulomb. And the Q3, that is equal to its capacitance as a 4 into 10 raised to minus 12 into 100. So that is equal to 400 into 10 raised to minus 12 coulomb. So totally if you take the value as it becomes exactly 900 picocoulomb. So that is the total the charge. So here the charge zone is the capacitor. We can easily find it. The concepts you get, it is very, very important. Number 8. In a parallel plate capacitor with air between the plates, each plate has an area of 6 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter square, and the distance between the plates is 3 millimeter. Calculate the capacitance of the capacitor. Simply, it is nothing but in air, epsilon 0 A division by D. So that is equal to 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 into the area. The area is what? It is given as 6 into 10 raised to minus 3. That division by that separation. The separation is given as 3 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. So if you just multiply, you get the value 17.7 into 10 raised to minus 12, approximately 18 PF. Then the second question is, what is the charge on each plate of the capacitor? The charge is nothing but equal to C into V. C is here 80 PF. 80 PF. The potential here is 100. So that is equal to 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb. A simple question. So just to the application. But this concept is important. Then question number 9. Explain what would happen if in the capacitor given in the previous question, a 3 millimeter thick mica sheet of a dielectric constant 6 were inserted between the plate, while the voltage supply remained connected after the supply was disconnected. So you should know what is the speciality. The voltage supply remain connected, the potential become constant. The supply was disconnected. Keep in mind the charge is constant for the situation. So the first case, the potential is constant. Potential is constant. But here a dielectric slab is introduced, and hence, and already in our question, that separation between the plates, the previous question is given as a 3 millimeter, and here the mica sheet got the 3 millimeter, and hence it is fully inserted, and hence the capacitance change is nothing but K into C times of air, no doubt at all. So 6 into C air, we already find it, the value is 18 into 10 raised to minus 12. So that is equal to 108 into 10 raised to minus 12. So that much farad. So the capacitance, we get it. And the charge then we can easily find out. That is C dash into V. So that is equal to 108 into 10 raised to minus 12 into the potential that is we already connected is 100. So you get the value. The charge there is changes to 1.08 into 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb. But in the second case, the supply was disconnected. That means we can say the charge is a constant. So like in the previous case, we can say the charge is a constant. So potential can be find out as a Q division by C. So already you know the charge is 1.8 into 1.08 into 10 raised to minus 8, 10 raised to minus 8, that division by so you get the answer once again, and here we want to find Q remains constant. So that is a yes, already we know yes, in the previous question, it is not 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 8. It is 18, 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 9. So already we know that division by the capacitance. The capacitance here it is 1.08 in this case. So 1.08 into 10 raised to minus 10. And raised to minus 10. So solving, you get the value as a 16.6 volt. So keep in mind a little bit misconcept. So keep in mind here already the charge you gained in the previous question is a constant there because the supply was disconnected. So you get the value in the previous question as 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 9. That division by the capacitance here. So you get the answer as a 16.6 volt. Question number 10. A 12 picofarad capacitor is connected to a 50 volt battery. how much electrostatic energy is stored in the capacitor? A simple question. So the energy stored is nothing but equal to half CV square. So that is equal to half into 12 into 10 raised to minus 12 into the potential as 50 square. So after solving, so that is equal to 6 into 10 raised to minus 12 into 25 into 10 raised to 2. You get the value as 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 8 joule. Question number 11. A 600 picofarad capacitor is charged by a 200 volt supply. It is then disconnected from the supply and is connected to another uncharged 600 picofarad capacitor. How much electrostatic energy is lost in the process? So, we already discussed about that concept, and we derived that loss is nothing but equal to, that is a very important concept. So, half C1 C2 by C1 plus C2 into the V1 minus V2 the whole square. And here V is the 200 volt supply, but V2 is here, it is 0. And hence we can just equal to half into here. Both the capacitors got the same value. So C1 is 600 P into 600 P. That division by 2 into 600 P. That much into 200 minus. But it is another uncharged capacitor. So V2 becomes 0. So square. So that is equal to, yes, 600 into 10 raised to minus 12 by the 4 into 200 square. So 4 into 10 raised to 4. So you get the value exactly as 6 into 10 raised to minus 6 joule. Question number 12. A charge of 8 millicoulomb is located at the origin. Calculate the work done in taking a small charge of minus 2 into 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb from a point P to a point Q via a point capital R. But keep in mind here, the points P is 0, 0, 3 centimeter. The point Q is R is 0, 6 centimeter, 9 centimeter, and the point Q is 0, 4 centimeter, 0. So it will move P to Q through R, but here all the X parameter are 0. So we can give important Y and Z. So that selection is very important based on this problem. So we can just draw the Cartesian coordinate system. So that is say it is Y and that is Z, and the perpendicular to it that say that is X. So at first we can take the point as P as 003 centimeter, 003 centimeter, say 3 centimeter. So that is the point here, 003 centimeter. So this distance is 3 centimeter. And the next one, the Q towards the Q. So 04 centimeter. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So okay, this is the point as a Q, 04 centimeter. And but it moved from another point. But keep in mind, we have to find what is the work done. So work done is nothing but is equal to the charge into potential difference. But keep in mind the very important concept. It is independent of the path through which it moves. So it is no need to concentrate on the point R, but it is given. It is a 0, 6, 9. 0, that x-axis is 0. So in the plane of YZ, then 6 and 9. So around this much point, that is R. So it will take this way to this point. But, and keep in mind, it only depends upon the initial and the final concept. So, and hence we can easily find how much work we have to done. It is nothing but is equal to, suppose the Q2 charge is moves. So suppose here the center, that 8 millicoulomb is there, so I am taken as a Q1. Then Q2 is moving, so Q2 into the potential difference as VQ minus VP, that is answer. So that is equal to 1 Q2 into what is VQ. So we can say as 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, the responsible charge Q2 division by say RQ minus K into Q2 division by RP. So in common you can take as a K, so 9 into 10 raised to 9 into then here it is Q1, the responsible for potential as a Q1. So Q1 into 1 by RQ minus 1 by RP. So equal to 9 into 10 raised to 9 into what is the responsible charge as 8 milli, 8 into 10 raised to minus 3. And what is Q2 here? So Q2 is what? We move the charge as a minus 2 into 10 raised to minus 9. That much into 1 by RQ. RQ is what? 0.04 or 4 into 10 raised to minus 2 minus 1 by 3 into 10 raised to minus 2. So that is equal to. So you just solving approximately you get the value as 1.152. So roughly we can say 1.2 joule. And keep in mind that electrostatic work does not depend upon the actual path. So here the point R is irrelevant. We have to concentrate only on that 2 points Q and this point P. So we can continue with the next video. God bless you. Take care.